We got $1,000 over here. We've got $1,200 over here. Let's go ahead and tack on maybe a $2,000 payment there, and let's add $1,000 a month for the next 12 months. Yes, we have so many different variations of a second economic stimulus bill. You know, we've had the Employer for the People's Act or the EPP, or I can't even keep track anymore. There are so many. And let's go ahead and throw another one into the mix. Just today, the Democrats announced their official proposal for the second stimulus check. And this one is called the HEROES Act. And this is basically trying to, they say, fix the CARES Act. And as you all know, the CARES Act, you had a $1,200 check that either came to you or is still waiting. I still have several people in the comments saying that they still haven't received their first stimulus check. I really hope that gets remedied soon. Praying for you, hope it happens. So what's going on now? What is this official proposal that just was released a few hours ago called the HEROES Act? Well, essentially, here is what it's trying to do. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. This is not a $2,000 one-time payment, and then we're gonna tack on $1,000 a month for the next 6 or 12 months. So all they're trying to do here is give a second economic stimulus check. So this is not a recurring payment, this is just another one-time payment. It's still $1,200 for individuals. If you have a spouse, you're gonna get $2,400. Now, the big change here, though, is that if you have dependents, you're going to get $1,200 per child up to 3 dependents. So you have if you use my family as an example, I've got 4 kids. That would be $1,200 for myself, $1,200 for my wife, and then $1,200 times 3 for my 4 kids. So my 4th kid, I'm not getting credit for. Now, I wouldn't qualify for this anyway, because we have the income limit. So we've still got $75,000 for single filers, $150,000 for joint, and then $112,500 if you are head of household. Now, this might not sound as exciting as a lot of the other proposals that were being presented, but if you watch any of my other videos, I really feel like a lot of these other proposals were just trying to get some of these representatives, these members of Congress, just kind of put them on the map, put them on a roadshow, make them look like, you know, they're doing something for the people. But there are some updates, some fixes with this HEROES Act that are making some fixes from the CARES Act. For example, the big one was you had dependents that were still living at home, college students. Basically, if you were over the age of 17, you were disqualified. You did not get a check. You also had those that didn't have tax identification numbers, which the people that really got screwed the most were if you had a social security number, but you were married to somebody that didn't have a tax ID number, then you both didn't get a stimulus check. So you had college students, even if you were working, making wages, like working for yourself, but if your parents claimed you, you didn't get that check. So now they're trying to make some updates with this new HEROES Act that we are going to basically go back retroactively, get you your initial $1,200 check and this new $1,200 check. So that's a huge update. And for those that were married to someone that didn't have the tax ID number, they're going back and fixing that as well. And in case you want to look this puppy over, this thing it's a manuscript and then some. We're talking 1,800 pages is this HEROES Act. And I'll have a link in the description if you want to take a look. So those are some of the really, really big updates. They're also making updates. I want to read this just so you can hear it out loud. So I don't feel like paraphrasing this, but it includes provisions to protect the rebates from seizure and states the payment shall not be subject to transfer, assignment, execution, levy, attachment, garnishment, or other legal process or the operation of any bankruptcy or insolvency law to the same. Oh gosh, do I even want to keep reading that? So basically, going back to those that had their stimulus checks garnished for whatever reason, they're basically saying now like that cannot be the case. There is didn't have any language saying if they're going back like retroactively and making any adjustments to that, just FYI, but this is just some other language that has been updated in this new HEROES Act. And just in case you are curious, where in this HEROES Act does it talk about the $1,200 payment and the $2,400 payment and the $1,200 payment for each of your dependents? You actually have to go to page 151 of the 1,800 page bill. So you can just scroll real quick, go to page 151 and you can read more about how this works. So at the time of this recording, I actually went to Twitter to see if there was any other updates, anybody else talking about the HEROES Act, and Nancy Pelosi actually just went live and she's giving her State of the Union address on the HEROES Act, the $3 trillion coronavirus relief package. It is imperative that we address the needs of the American people with clarity on how we proceed. Nancy, I couldn't have said it better myself. So that's what's going on now. If you remember with the original CARES Act, you had the Republicans had their version and then the Democrats had their version that had a higher payout. I think back then it was about $1,500 instead of $1,200. And then after all said and done, you had the final product would end up becoming the CARES Act. So we've had so many different proposals talking about all these different monthly packages, the $2,000 and recurring payments. And now we have a HEROES Act that's been, I don't want to say like a bow's been put on this puppy, but definitely there has been there's been some massaging of the language to finally get an act that sounds somewhat realistic. Because if we start looking at what the $2,000 a month or the $2,000 payment plus any sort of recurring payment, like what that would do to the US economy and our debt, you can't even fathom that. You can't even fathom where we're at right now. But the reality is unemployment is still skyrocketing. We're still at unprecedented levels. You all know what's going on with the country as far as just the coronavirus and quarantine, all that stuff. So is this going to pass? There's definitely a lot of, I say, more likelihood of something like this passing. I don't know if it's going to pass in its current form, but I could definitely see something like this getting passed. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna have all the links to every single article that I've read on this, including the actual bill itself. So if you got any spare time and you just wanna read, or I always like to say, if you're having trouble sleeping, having insomnia, put this puppy on your phone, iPad, computer, start reading this puppy. You'll be out in no time. That's my gift to you. All right, y'all, hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life. Know you can make it awesome. Until next time, peace.